take on level 43, 45 monsters. Just because we know how to fucking move. What the fuck?
Yeah. If you're good at dodging, you can get really, really far, even with minimal gear. Yeah.
I understand why Elon likes it. I love it as well. I stayed up all night yesterday. Yes. I stayed up all night playing that game, and I didn't get tired like once, which is something that is very rare for anything that I do if it was all night, unless I really, really lock into doing it. But I was not sleepy in the slightest. It's such a good adrenaline release inducing game, and it's just the best. It's very good. It's like it takes the aspect of having you locked into it that you'll find in Call of Duty, and puts that into like a level of progression that's completely different. You don't really get tired because you have like a monster, and that monster has a consequence of you dying. So if you don't deal with that monster properly, you will in fact die. So it keeps you on edge constantly in that like survival type of instinct zone of the flow state, and that I really like about that game. It's incredible. It's one of the best games I've ever played. I'd say this is definitely one of the best games I've ever played because I just can't complain about it. Even if you have some complaints, it's like probably the way that the mobs can chunk on you, but a lot of this can be solved with skill, right? Deaths are somewhat punishing because if you die, we get respawned at a checkpoint, and let's imagine that the checkpoint is a little further away from the place in which you died at. So then you have to like basically walk all that way again. And the problem with this is not the fact that it takes you time to walk back to where you died. It's because every single time you die in one of those quest maps, what happens is that all of the monsters you killed before just respawn. All of them. So, because effectively you get loaded into a fresh instance, right? So you just lose whatever's there, you just respawn, go there. So that's one of the difficulties. That's why death is a little bit punishing, but I'd say that death itself, and also if you're like in a group together, individuals cannot respawn unless everybody is dead. So you can revive them, but if you've died, then your death is permanent until somebody revives you, or everybody's dead and we all revive and start the instance again. Let's say you're in the middle of a boss fight, you have to finish the boss off. If you die, and all of you die, then you basically just get placed outside of the place where you're fighting the boss. You get to go back in again. It doesn't like reset the whole instance for you. That's like the map and everything you went through to get to the actual boss part. But it does reset the boss part for you, so you can actually do the boss over and over again. And if you die, that kind of stuff. So it's a really interesting game. It's been one of the only games that I can look at and say, you've chosen a particular thing for you, damage is stacked a certain way, there's the particular boosts that aren't too hidden. The Paragon stuff is actually a lot more intuitive than some of the other games that I've played, in my opinion. Your boosts are very explicitly stated. There's no bullshit wording. It feels very